Hey y'all. Um, so I'm sitting here, right, trying to virtual have prayer, um, virtually, but the Wi-Fi keep going in and out, right? And so, I was like, well, I can record, so I got this, right? So I'm sitting here and I'm in prayer time, right? And for a while, like this thing has been bothering me, right, about how we view our trials and our tribulations, right? Like how we view our lives and our obstacles and the things that come our way, right? And so I got to thinking, right? Because y'all know I'm in this transformation of the mind with the Lord, right? And he low key like transforming my mind, right? And so I'm sitting here thinking, I'm like, okay, so in this transformation, one of the other scriptures, aside from Romans 12 and 2, he gave me, um, talked about considering it pure joy when we, you know, come up against our trials and our tribulations, right? And so, of course, I can't get the Bible app to come up, so now I got to go in my notes because I'm sure I wrote it down somewhere. Um, but it's just like it says, consider it pure joy when those things come up against us, right? Because it's the testing of our faith, right? And so, um, I now look at my trials and my tribulations as tests, right? Because I mean, that's all they are. They're tests. God is testing me to see if I'm going to stand firm and trust him, right? And so how does he do that? By testing us. So once we understand the word, he gives us the word, we understand the word, um he tests us, y'all, right? And so your whole life that you've been going through, James, it's James, y'all. James 1 2 to 4, it says, consider it pure joy, my brothers, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith develops perseverance. Perseverance must finish its work so that you may be mature and complete, not lacking anything, right? And so if he's testing us, y'all, it's not for us to know how strong we are. It's for us. It's not for him. I'm sorry. It's not for him to know how strong we are. It's for us to know how strong we are. Um, he created us, y'all. He know how strong we are. He know how much strength he put in us when he created us, right? We just don't know that strength. And so now that he's transforming my mind, I go back and I think about all of the things that I went through in my life, right? Like all of the obstacles that I went through in my marriage, right? In my personal life, and all that other stuff. And I used to think, like, Jesus, you're stressing me. Like, Jesus is stressing me because if all things flow through him, right, and he's allowing all these things to happen, like, this is causing me stress, Jesus. You are stressing me, right? But now he's transformed my mind, right? And when they used to tell you that, like, God will stretch you, that's what that means. That's what that means, y'all. Them trials and tribulations that y'all going through, that's God stretching you, not stressing you. He's stretching you, y'all. And kudos to all those people who going through like some real tough situations, right? Like some really, really like tough situations. Kudos to y'all. Like I have the highest respect for y'all because y'all make a conscious decision every day to do something, and to wake up the next morning and to keep going and to keep pushing and to keep striving to do something different, to get something better, right? And that takes a lot of strength, right? That takes a lot of will and determination to keep going through when you're struggling with something, right? But God is stretching you because he knows how much you can take, and he just wants you to know how much you can take. And your trials are only coming because he also knows that once you grab it, like once you understand what he really wants to use you for, and you get that, there's no turning around and you won't go back, right? And so he needs to know. So he's stretching you. Like he crossing them lines, like as those lines, cause he's crossing them because he wants you to know, he wants you to understand how much strength you have, right? He wants you to grasp the understanding that you are built for this, right? He built you for this. But because the world tried to make you feel like it wasn't worth it, like you was doing all wrong, and made you feel bad about all that stuff, now he gotta go back in and rebuild what he put in you, so that you can tell, that you can know for yourself that you're that strong to get through these things, right? And he knows that you're gonna be loud. Like when you ready to say what he wants you to tell people, you're gonna be loud, and you're not gonna turn around, and it's not gonna be bothered by, you're not gonna be bothered by the people in the faces, right? And I know this from experience, y'all. I'm trying to tell y'all, it's experience. And when you get there to that other side, after Christ, right? Because before Christ is with the world, the conforming of the world, but after Christ is that transforming of the mind, where you see things differently, and you just see things the way he's intended for us to always see it, right? It makes this thing so much easier. It makes life so much easier. So now that I know that, like, this is for the parents, right? These for the parents that think that their kids is like, they just ain't listening, they hard-headed, they some of them need to be that way, right? Some of them were that way because they have some hurts and some pains, and y'all need to deal with that, right? Like they need to be able to talk to them people, and then people need to listen to them and stuff like that, right? And they need to deal with that. But that's gonna come with that quiet time with Christ, right? That healing is gonna come. But y'all gotta stop discouraging these people, the childrens, to go to Jesus. You gotta stop discouraging the people, the childrens, to go to Jesus. The children need to go to Jesus. And adults, we need to stop discouraging that. We need to start encouraging more of that. Stop focusing on what they doing, right? Stop focusing on so much of what they doing, what they not doing, what you think they should be doing, what you feel like is best for them. They have to walk this walk by themselves. And you got to let them do that, right? Because here's the thing. If the Lord walks with them every day and he allows them to do the things that they do, and he's still walking with them, that means he still has some grace and some favor for them, right? And so they have their own walk, right? And he's walking that with them. And he ain't telling us the whole story for them, because he needs them to know him for themselves. Y'all keep up. And so he's not going to always tell y'all parents what to do, right? And y'all can't always go looking for answers, because they're not going to always be there, right? Because it's not your walk. But as you continue to be before God and in your quiet time with God, and if you praying and you want God to show you that there is some work going on in that child, you're going to have to take that up with the Lord, right? And then you and the Lord going to have to work that out. But I guarantee you this. If you pray and ask him for some guidance, or for you to see some change, it's going to come. But don't always look for it in that person. Look for it in you, right? Because God always works in us first before he works in that other person. He concerned about you first, right? And so when you love God and then you love people, then you'll be able to not always look for the change in the other person, but you look for the change in you first, and then in them, right? It's gonna make sense when you get to the other side, y'all. When y'all get to the other side, it's gonna make so much more sense. But you love God, love people, and then you love them, like 1 Corinthians 13 tell us to. Like there's no other way. It's 1 Corinthians 13, y'all. That's how we love, right? And then we gotta be kind, we gotta be patient, and we gotta, most importantly, not insist on our own way, okay? And so parents, let them babies be, okay? Just pray for them. And if you trust in God, like you say you trust in God, and you teaching them to trust God, then you got to show them that you trust God by taking your hands off of them, right? And letting them go. I tell my kids every day, I'm so proud of them, because every day they get up and they fight, right? And they seek and they look for, and I encourage them to have their own relationship with Christ, right? To talk to him for themselves, however they want to talk to him, because guess what? God is walking with them every day, so he already know how they talk, y'all. We worried about the wrong things. We just worried about the wrong things. We got to focus on the things that matter, right? And the things that matter is making sure that they're comfortable with talking to Christ. And then as they continue to talk with him and they commune with him, he will in turn change those things in them, right? Like, yeah, we got to take the hands off the children. And if we're saying we trust God with the children, right? Because he knows their walk the best. And so we have to be mindful of that, right? Considering it pure joy, my brothers, when you face trials of many kinds, whatever you're going through, whatever it is you're going through, consider it pure joy, because that's God testing you to see if you're going to sink or swim, right? Like, are you going to sink or swim? And I'm telling y'all this because I'm going through the transforming of the mind. So as I look back at my life and I'm like, Lord, you stressing me. I look now and I'm like, no, Lord, you were stretching me. And so as I have a conversation with my husband and I'm talking to him about how, like when we was going through, when we looked at it, we wasn't looking at it right. Because all the world say, the world tell us that we ain't doing right? Like everything in our life is wrong. But now that I'm being transformed in my mind and I'm reading James 1:2-4 that says I'm supposed to consider it pure joy when I go through these things because it's a test of my faith and it's developing perseverance. I celebrate everything we went through now. Y'all thought we was drowning. Y'all, we was swimming for real. Like, we weren't sinking, but we saw it wrong, right? And now we don't see it that way, or now I don't see it that way. And I'm trying to help other people not to see it that way, right? And so stop taking y'all trials and y'all tribulations and letting people make y'all feel like they is the worst thing ever. They are the best things ever. Because if you're followers of Christ, it tells us that those are the best things ever. And we're supposed to be joyful in them. Because God is like, yo, I know you know this, right? So now I'm going to test you. And he says he doesn't put no more on us than we can bear. So if he's testing you with all of these things at one time, that means he knows you can handle it if you just stay focused and trust God and stay in communion with him, right? Like, that's that quiet time with him so he can reveal some things to you, right? So he can show you some things, so he can change your mindset about some things, so you can view things differently, so it's easier for you to walk this life. Because it's easy, y'all. I'm telling y'all, it's so easy. It's so easy. It's so easy. And I know now, and if I knew it before, I mean, who's to say where I would be? But everything is in God's timing, so I'm right where I need to be. Y'all be encouraged, right? Celebrate y'all hiccups, falls, failures, whatever the world wants to call them. Celebrate them, because it's God saying, I know you got enough strength to get through this. I know you got enough faith to get through this. I know you got enough. I just need you to know that you got enough. And you got enough, y'all. Y'all got enough. Because if you wake up every day, you got enough. Just keep on fighting. Just keep on waking up. Just keep on praising him. Just keep on thanking him for everything he brings your way. Because you know he's in control and you know he's going to change it. And he's going to work it out. Because all things work together for your good. Even those things that they say ain't what you should probably be doing, it's gonna all work together, right? Because it's in the word. But you gotta transform your mind, y'all. And so I'm just gonna help somebody out there transform their mind, because the Lord needs you. And I don't know what he gonna use you for, but he gonna use you, and he know you gonna do what he knows that you're gonna do what he is needing you to do. And he know you ain't turning back. Once you get on the other side of Christ, he know you ain't turning back. So y'all be encouraged. Be the best that you can be in whatever you decide to do today. Don't let nobody tell you nothing different. And you do it to the best of your ability, because that's what you chose to do in that moment. And you, in that moment, that's what you thought was the best option for you. And that's what you chose. And you're great at it. And don't let nobody tell you nothing different. Because guess what? God is walking with you and he's still with you. And that's all I gotta say about that, right? But use wisdom, right? And all you'll get some understanding. And sometimes you ain't gonna get no understanding unless you ask some questions. So start opening your mouth and asking some questions, right? If you need to ask me a question, I'm here. Just hit me up. You know what I'm saying? Like in the box, whatever they call it. But don't come with no crazy stuff in my inbox, because I ain't responding to no foolery. But you know what I'm saying? Like, this thing is easy, y'all. It's so easy. We make it hard. And I'm gonna help y'all. I'm gonna help somebody. Somebody gonna come on over to the other side and be free and free and free and free indeed. Because God is good, y'all. I love y'all.